Well, do I have to start episode 162, Lisa Brandt, by saying how much I and the dogs miss you here?
Oh, I miss you guys too. I got teary as I was heading to my Uber, and you said, say goodbye to the dogs. And I said, I can't say goodbye again. I was going to stuff one of them in my bag.
Oh, I know, and they would have gone. So I haven't talked to Lisa since she left on Monday evening to catch her flight. So we're going to get the whole story together, you and me and everybody. Start with, your Uber ride to the airport. How did that go?
Oh, smooth as silk. Very smooth. He didn't talk. I didn't need to talk. It was great. No highs or lows. It was all great.
Okay. So you get to the airport, and how busy was it at Puerto Vallarta Airport to go home on a Monday evening that had been fraught back in Ontario with snowstorms and cancellations?
It seemed really hectic at first. I got up to go and get some water, and when I came back, my seat was gone. There were just a lot of people and not very many places to sit. But as soon as one flight left, it just completely changed. It felt like it was really crazy till about 6 p.m., and then everything slowed down. So no complaints there either. It's a lovely airport, and it was nice.
I think one of the big miracles of that day was you and I were both on pins and needles, pinatas and needles, watching cancellations, but it turns out that we figured out that Toronto, YYZ, had 40% either cancellations or delays due to that massive snowstorm. But there's little Hamilton Airport just kind of doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, and my taxi driver, once I arrived, again, a little bit early and just a lovely flight with Porter, he told me that some of the diversions from Billy Bishop Airport were sent to Hamilton because Hamilton just doesn't have as packed a schedule. It's just a lovely, small, clean airport. And if anybody's been to the London airport, it's somewhat similar. And just no hassles. No, even all the customs people were laughing and smiling. And when the guy asked me what I had bought and I said a little giraffe, he goes, well, you gotta get a giraffe. I mean, they were joking and having fun and just a pleasant experience start to finish.
Wow, imagine being those people who thought they were landing in downtown Toronto, and there they are getting to Hamilton, though, on the smaller planes from Billy Bishop.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and suddenly they've got to get a shuttle or some way into Toronto. Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun.
But you did bury the lead a little bit. Once again, you hear of these people who win the lottery twice, and you think, well, that's just greedy. But there's Lisa sitting with a seat all by herself in that 2-seat row on Porter. Girl, what is your trick?
I don't know. Maybe flying alone so they don't put somebody with you. I did see a few other people this time sitting on their own as well. And then I saw couples trying to get comfortable and lean against each other because it was a late night flight.
Yeah.
I tried to stretch out a little bit, but it really wasn't going to happen. But I have to tell you, Erin,
yeah,
at about an hour into the flight, I thought, I'll just lean back and see if I can doze. I usually can't. And I opened my eyes and what felt like 5 minutes later, and I heard the pilot say, prepare for landing. I was like, whoa. So I slept.
For you, that's like a full night's sleep, the amount that you sleep.
I felt great. I felt perky and alive and awake, and it was just a really good experience. It's nothing to complain about, except the cold once I got here, but I did get a reprieve for a couple weeks, so I can't really complain about that either.
Paint a picture as they opened the doors to this flight, and I had forgotten that you all don't have the walkway and stuff that's built into the airport there at Hamilton. Is that correct? You had to go down the stairs and across the tarmac?
Not only that, but the stairs had snow on them and ice, so they were telling us to be careful. There were some people who were older and really taking their time, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And a bunch of men together, all in their shorts and T-shirts for the flight. So they were freezing. They were trying to run with their suitcases. And yeah, it was a real slap in the face to get out there and feel the cold. People were trying to jog into the terminal. It was quite the shell shock.
Well, that happens in Victoria with some of the smaller and more local flights. But upstairs, as you know, we do have the whole terminal with walkways and stuff to the bigger carriers. Okay, so what happened when you got to the curb? because I know you had a whole plan of what was going to go down, where you'd parked your car and stuff. This is a whole nother story here. So I'm just going to sit back here. Dogs are curled up next to me, just like they were for our podcast live event last Thursday, which you can still see on YouTube through Gracefully and Frankly. But you go ahead and tell me your story of what happened after you landed, because I haven't heard this.
I had contacted the airport to find out whether there would be taxis outside at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They said, oh, yeah, there will be. But just in case, here are the 2 companies we deal with, and here are their numbers. So I felt quite confident about that. I went out, and there was a cab driver right there. There were a couple of them. And so no problem getting my stuff loaded into the vehicle, and off we went. And he really wanted me to pay him in cash, but that wasn't going to happen. I didn't have any cash. So he got me to my friend Ellen's place. Now, Ellen and I went to high school together, and we see each other, I don't know, every year, every couple years or something, but we're friends. We can count on each other. So she said I could park my vehicle there instead of paying the big exorbitant fee at the airport, right?
Yep.
She's about 15 minutes from the airport. I've been to her house many, many, many times. She bought this old farmhouse that was in rough shape and fixed it up, and it's amazing. So I get to the house, and as you know, it's like minus 25 outside or something, and the guy unloads my suitcase, and I've got everything, and I'm going up the stairs, and I think, oh, well, the main door is dark, but there's a light on this smaller door. Maybe that's where she wants me to go in. Keep in mind, we hadn't communicated. I sent her a couple of notes that day and never got anything back. And so I said, well, here I come. Texted her in the middle of the night. So I tried the door under the light and it opened. In I go. It's a part of the house I've never been in before. I never even really noticed this door before. And I could see somebody was sleeping in a bed, and I went into the living room. There were chairs there, and I thought, that's fine. There's a nice, big, comfy chair. I'll just wait it out until it's light, because by now it's about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
I brought my stuff in. I saw a cat go by in the dark and tried to get comfortable in the chair, and I guess I dozed off because it turns out about 45 minutes later, the lights went on, and there's an older woman in her nightgown standing there looking at me. And it's Ellen's elderly mom. I'm in her apartment.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's wondering why I'm there. She didn't have a cane in her hand to whack me with or anything. She wasn't scared, but she just said, who are you and what are you doing here?
Oh, my God.
What had happened was I found out through talking with her. She put a robe on and came and sat out. We visited. She remembered my name from high school and stuff, but I guess I'd given her quite a start to come out. She went to the bathroom and saw, wait a minute, what is this? Why is there a suitcase here? And then came around the corner and saw some person she didn't know in her chair. So what had happened was Ellen slept through her alarm.
Oh.
And she didn't get up as planned. She was going to surprise me by driving my car to the airport and picking me up and bringing me back and putting me in one of the bedrooms and letting me sleep and all this stuff. But she slept through it. So when I saw the light and thought, okay, that must be what she wants me to do, that was just pure coincidence. And of course, when you're out in the country, everybody leaves their doors unlocked.
Jeez.
There I was, uninvited in her and her mom's place, but she was incredibly sweet. We had a great conversation, and I was so wide awake. I said, you know what? I'm just going to head out. So about 3:15, I hit the road. I was home by 5:30, and everything was just fine.
Oh, my God. Thank goodness she wasn't armed.
Well, she walks with a cane, and I thought later, I said, why didn't you have your cane in your hand to whack me on the head? She said, you didn't look like you were going to be trouble. And I said, okay, good. That's wonderful.
That could have gone sideways in so many ways, but you made the best of it. I wonder if she's going to start locking her door from now on, Lisa.
Yeah, I don't know, but there was another little bonus because I wanted a coffee so bad. And I headed out back toward the highway, and they just put up a brand new 24-hour McDonald's that's been like open for a couple of weeks. And so I was able to get a coffee, and just everything seemed to go my way, including not getting hit with a cane or anything else.
Oh, my. And everything went well. Your luggage joined you. So obviously,
yeah,
this was
no problems.
the perfect trip.
Well, Ellen felt terrible, and I said, "It's okay." She said her mother enjoyed talking to me, and I'd brought her some vanilla and a couple of things, and
A little stuffed chicken, a tiny stuffed chicken, because she lives on that farm that we found in a mall in Puerto Vallarta. Oh, Lisa, I'm still flying so high from the 2 weeks we spent together. And there were so many moments. And I think this is the key to life is when you just stop and go, this moment is perfection. And we talked about a few of them and, going on to the markets down at the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta and, that karaoke the week before and just moments that you would never expect. I mean, before Lisa came, I was looking for things. I saw, there's an evening sunset cruise. We could go and do that. And you said, you know what? That doesn't really feel like me. And it didn't feel like me either. But
mm,
just the things that we stumbled upon or that we did. And then we
yeah.
had some real surprises too. And we'll get into those in just a moment. But I really want to thank you for coming wherever I am. You've come to Hawaii, you've come to California, now you've come to Mexico.
It's not a big sacrifice, my friend. For one thing, you go to great places, so thanks for going to great places, always inviting me, so... Yeah, we've had some great adventures, and this time, I think you're absolutely right. We stopped and looked at each other and went and lived in the moment, and we went, this is incredible. And yeah, it was one for the ages.
It was. And you know what? I've had a couple of emails now since last week's Facebook Live. Do go and watch it if you haven't yet. It goes by so quickly. Well, kind of like our trip. But I've had a few people asking, okay, how did you choose this place? What did you use? Did you use Vrbo or Airbnb? So I'm going to write a blog about it next Monday. Okay, I'll post it at Gracefully and Frankly Facebook, and I'll also post it at erindavis.com. But rather than answer all these emails, I'm going to kind of do a one-size-fits-all. But we met a woman who lives in our neighborhood here. Here's another thing, when you talk to strangers, and there's so much that's so important about this for the bigger picture, not just vacation memories from Erin and Lisa. But we met up with a mutual friend who you knew from years ago, and I knew through an email visitor who said, you've got to meet this woman, Kalita Haverland. And she's a recording artist, and a lot of people will remember her name from songs that she had in Canada. But Kalita and I connected. I said to Kalita, come on over, we'll have a coffee. Turns out that she was in your second husband's band. They recorded together. So there's all these degrees of separation. Had a marvelous visit, fell in love with the place that she and her husband Gord have. Not even a 10-minute walk from where we are. So
Right.
we go for a meal, and it had been yours and my plan to buy her a meal because she toured us around a bit, which is just so much fun. And we
Yeah.
go to this restaurant that's not even a half a kilometer from the house we're staying at. Go up the stairs into this restaurant called Cuatro Vientos, Four Winds. And this red-haired senior woman was going to be dining alone, and we asked her to join us for the meal. Well, that was a whole next level experience as well.
Right. We had so much fun with her. Her name is Suzanne, right?
Yes, Sue, but she said down here, I'm Susanna.
Okay. And she was from Chicago, and she had the Chicago accent, which was so much fun. And just, you guys, you're just so silly. And her husband has passed away. They own a place in Mexico, which she is selling now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just full of pea and vinegar, and she's not afraid to do things on her own. And we just thought she was the neatest woman.
She really was. And, we're kind of feeling out who she is and what's her story. And it's so funny because you were about to leave the next day. And I said, well, how long are you staying? And she said, I'm going back to Chicago when it gets a little warmer. And I'm thinking like 2 months. And she goes, no, like day after tomorrow, because I want to go see my grandkids. And I said, it was so funny. But yeah, just living life on her own terms. And she would have eaten alone otherwise. And there were we, you, me, Kalita, and then Kalita's husband. So we had just a great old time just talking with her. So Lisa gets telling her about our podcasts. And I can't believe what you brought up. And it ties in with something we brought up in the Facebook Live last week. Sue, who had just begun listening to GNF, And I remember I brought up in the podcast last week, I said, Sue, we want to know why it took you so long to start listening and why you're listening to this one. So she wrote back, and I thought we should finish that story. She said, "Hi, Aaron and Lisa. What a great live podcast. So much fun. I originally didn't think I would enjoy any podcasts, but knowing of Aaron and Lisa for so many years and seeing the posts on Facebook, I thought I'd give it a try, and I was hooked. I just sit and work on my knitting and enjoy the time spent listening to two friends chatting." And then she adds, "I think my favorite episode was the one about fart walking. I thought I was the only one that happened to." And I'm thinking, really? Of 161 episodes, that's what sticks. So isn't that the episode Lisa brings up when she's explaining to Sue at dinner what our podcast is about? Thanks, Lisa. You're a great ambassador.
Well, it was the first thing that came to mind because it was top of mind having read Sue's email. And so I'm explaining about fart walking, and everybody's face was blank. Nobody's laughing. Nobody's doing anything. And so I turned to Gordon. I said, "But it's certainly not the kind of thing you bring up in mixed company." Well,
Right.
that made him laugh.
Yeah.
But yes.
Oh, you never know what's going to stick. And that, for her, was what was sticky. And she also said she's like you, got to have the cauliflower. And Lisa, I have to tell you, I still have one head of cauliflower in my fridge. I may just leave it there as sort of a memorial to you. I don't know. I don't know if I can cut into it or not. I don't want your trip to be over.
It's going to start showing its age in a little while, so you might want to cut it up and eat it.
I think I will.
Yeah, good. Then you can do some fart walking.
Yeah, maybe we should explain what fart walking is. Since you're so proud
Right.
of that moment, would you care to give it to us in fits and spurts?
Okay. So it's after a meal. It's just going for a walk and letting the gaseous emissions fly as you go.
Yes.
Hopefully without people behind you. And it's really a thing. It's a way to help your digestion and to get things out of there. As my former late father-in-law used to say, better an empty house than a bad tenant, you know?
Oh, that's deep. Okay.
That's what he was talking about. Yeah.
All right. And remember, if you're fart walking and there are people behind you, you can either blame the dogs or just call it crop dusting. Remember, we used to work in newsrooms where a guy would walk by and you go, "What the heck?" And then you'd been crop dusted. But enough of that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I hear a percolator. Thank you, Jacqueline, for buying us 3 coffees. We so appreciate it. Coffee cups up to you today for episode 162 of Gracefully and Frankly. We appreciate every single one. We really do.
It's so easy to do. Just go to gracefullyandfrankly.com. If you feel the urge, you can send us one. You can send us however many you want. The bottom left, there's a little coffee cup icon. You just click and go from there. And be sure to put your name in so that we know who to thank.
Absolutely. You know, we got a voicemail this week, and it really touched both our hearts. And her name is Anna, and she's going through some stuff. So, Lisa, let's share Anna's phone call here on Gracefully and Frankly and let our listeners hear just what she is going through, okay?
Yeah.
Hi, Aaron and Lisa. I just wanted to mention that I've been having quite a hard time. I was hoping that 2026 was going to be better, but my sister was diagnosed the 1st of January with a brain tumor, which thankfully was removed, and she is doing okay, but she's got a long road of recovery to go. And most recently, I was diagnosed with congestive heart disease. I think I'm still in shock. My question is, how do you deal with all this crap that is dealt towards you? It's so hard to stay positive. I mean, I want to, but at the same time, I just want to say why. I have so much more to say, but we'll leave it at this for now. I love your podcast. I'm usually in my scrapbook room making cards when I listen, and I usually laugh out loud whenever you guys say something hysterical and that I can identify with. Thank you, and I can't wait to hear you tonight.
Oh, Anna, thank you. Thank you for sharing what's in your heart with us. My God, what a lot to be going through with your sister's brain tumor. And we're so glad that that's been removed and she's in recovery. But then to get that diagnosis of congestive heart disease, no wonder you're in shock, girl.
I think at a time like this, we think it's just not fair. Why me? But it's hard to accept that life isn't fair. It just isn't fair. Some people get more than their share of heartache and stuff to deal with.
And sometimes it's indigestible or bits that are able to be handled. And sometimes, as the saying goes, when it rains, it pours. So the question that cuts right to the bone is when life feels like a medical avalanche, like brain tumors, surgery, heart disease, how do you find anything that resembles hope? And she's not asking us how to pretend everything's fine. She's asking how to stay positive when the hits keep coming. And that's somebody who wants to keep living fully and not just surviving, right?
Yeah.
So to me, the answer isn't about finding silver linings in a brain tumor or gratitude journaling your way out of heart disease. It's smaller and it's so much more honest than that. How do you stay present for the good moments that still exist between the medical moments? What's your take on this?
Well, my first question to Anna would be, have you taken the time to sit with all of this? Like, sometimes we brush these things away and we think, I've got to stay positive. I've got to stay positive. I know a positive mindset is so important, and that is important. But you also have to give yourself the time to acknowledge that this sucks. This is not good. It's worrisome. It's scary. It's all those things. And accepting that and facing that doesn't mean wallowing in it. But if you keep pushing it away, it will just come back to bite you in the butt. This is why therapy can be so important for people, because we've pushed stuff away or just said, I don't want to think about that, but it never seems to go away. So that would be my first question, is just, have you had a good cry? Have you beaten the crap out of a pillow? Have you journaled about it? Have you written even just a document about it? Have you talked to a good friend or a therapist about it? And really feel those emotions, as unpleasant as they are, because that's how you get past it. It's like, okay, I'm giving myself 4 days to wallow and feel like crap. And then on Monday, I am going to put some real effort into gratitude and finding more positivity in my life. I don't think you can do that until you go through the reality of what it is you're dealing with. That's my take on it anyway.
It's redefining positive. It's not everything's going to be fine. It's I can handle what comes today, and not this is all for a reason, but there's still beauty I can notice between the storms, which of course is a good metaphor for what Ontario's been going through, and so many of our listeners in the prairies and east that's getting smacked with snow too. It's taking that moment with the perfect cup of coffee or tea, or the cardinal that just shows up at your bird feeder. And then also, if you can find a way to plan little things, getting together with a friend, planning Zoom time or FaceTime, or just the little things that keep you going and looking forward to what may be on its way. And there's another edge to this sword, Lisa, too, that occurs to me. And that is that you talk about therapy, and I think therapy is a wonderful, wonderful solution. Don't forget, one size does not fit all. You may find the perfect therapist. You may find it one doesn't fit you. You may find one in an app. You know, like there's this app called Purpose, which is really terrific. Or you may just find it in a friend. You need someone to lean on. And guess what? You may not feel that your sister, who has always kind of been your sounding post or your guide, is just not the person to talk to because she's going through her own recovery from a brain tumor. So that may be leaving Anna feeling like she's kind of missing a leg of support there too, don't you think?
Yeah, I do think you're right.
Yeah.
It's something as small as planning a garden next year and deciding you're going to grow something different and researching it. Or I'm a big believer in distraction as well. And
Yes.
working on something, I like to do a painting or something crafty or something like that. And just getting out of your head, having to concentrate on something else. It's certainly not easy, and it is different for everyone. We can look everywhere in the world and find people who are way worse off than us or way better off than us, but none of that justifies or takes away from what you're going through. So please don't get into the comparison trap and think, oh, well, things aren't so bad. They really aren't so bad, but they're bad for you.
Right. They're bad enough.
Yeah, everybody deals with things differently, and what you're going through matters, and it matters that you get through it after you acknowledge it and find a way to cope with it.
Honest hope instead of toxic positivity. People will
Right.
try to give you fortune cookies, but the reality is, as Lisa says, it does suck. So do what you can, what you feel strong enough to do, and get that support, Anna. You know that we're here for you. And our Gracefully and Frankly listeners are here for you too. If you just show up on our Facebook page, you know that they're going to be there with you. And a lot of them will have stories that say it all turned out pretty darn well. So that's all we've got. Keep looking for those cardinals, that perfect cup of whatever makes you feel better. And don't forget to connect with someone who will listen to you and truly listen to you, because you need to give yourself the permission to get support without any kind of shame. There is no shame in therapy, whatever
No.
form it comes in.
Right. And there's probably even a Facebook group for people with specific heart conditions
Of
and all sorts of
course.
things. So there'll be all sorts of information and support there too. I mean, there's a Facebook group for everything. And a lot of times people who've gone through it can be even more help than a doctor.
Yeah. You feel free to leave your voicemail at gracefullyandfrankly.com. At the bottom right there's a microphone icon, and just you can try as many times as you want to get it right. Take your time. If there needs to be something edited, we'll do that because we care about you and we're happy to do it. So I hope, Anna, that's been of help today. We don't usually give advice. Well, not that we're asked for. We give advice, but
Hey, my best advice is if you have a neck issue or a problem with your spine, or even just a problem sleeping, take an Envy pillow with you on your trip. I remember years ago, Erin, going somewhere and coming back and having to start. I felt like I was starting all over again with my body to get it feeling right again because of those stupid hotel pillows. They're either skinny little wispy things or they're stuffed so full. I don't know how anybody's supposed to sleep on them.
we noticed that we were watching a show the other night and the woman went to sleep like she had just had a facelift and she was propped right up in bed. And yeah, I've had a partial facelift years ago. You wouldn't know now. And I did have to sleep propped up in bed. No, the Envy pillow is designed by nurses who worked in that business so you can lie down and still be gentle to your face, whether you've had the work or whether you won't need it because of the Envy pillow.
Right. It just feels like it's natural for your neck. You're not being propped up. You're not being stuffed down. And there are so many other good things about it, too. In addition to the way it's shaped, the materials they use are sustainable. Nothing's got any micro anything that you want to keep away from you. These women who invented it, Kim and Kathy, registered nurses, they know what they're doing. They've done their research. And this is why we love it.
We do. It's Canadian, and you can get 10% off using the code GF at Envy Pillow. Don't accept any companies that sound like it. ENVYpillow.com. And sleep with the best. We sure do. The dogs are still checking out your bed regularly, Lisa, by the way. We did the laundry, but it still smells like you. And speaking of laundry, I have a question. I ordered a new bra. I was modeling it for you.
Yes.
And it fits. It's great. And I'm trying to remind myself to treat them better. So I don't know if you have any tips.
Well, I do have a couple of tips, but they're
They're not what they
sorry.
used to be. Too easy.
They're pointing downward like they're looking for metal. No, I hang my bras. I don't know if that means anything.
I don't hang mine. They hang themselves. Have you seen my boobs? Oh, nothing for us here. Oh, no.
I have so many hang to dry things that when Derek does laundry, like he did some hours away, he just hangs everything because he's so scared that he'll put something in the dryer that he
my
shouldn't. But I don't do anything overly special. I just have a little laundry bag, one of those lingerie bag things, and I
Yeah.
wash it in there gently and then hang them.
Okay, thank you. I'll keep you abreast. Oh, jeez. Well, something else we never travel without, of course, good foundation, good bra, good pillow, and Sierra Sil. Now, when you were here, did it look silly that I was doing my lunges and my crunches and all that kind of stuff? Because I'd read, it's all about stability as we age, getting the knees and the quads and the glutes and everything ready to support our bodies as we age.
You didn't look silly. You made me almost want to get up and do them with you.
It was always when she was covered in dogs. So I'd say, I've got this. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I have started doing that, and I'm not noticing any more pain in my knees or my hips in doing the lunges. I'm taking it easy with the lunges because it's kind of hard to get down there when you haven't done it in the spread stance with your legs, shoulder length apart, front and back and stuff. And it's all thanks to Sierra Sil. Sierra Sil, these capsules of all natural minerals. Not a thing in there hasn't been tested way beyond the government's recommendations. And they're Canadian, and they come with a guarantee that if you don't feel a difference in your joint pain in 14 days with Joint Formula 14, you get your money back.
Check them out. Take a look at what they have to offer and see which one would be right for you. SierraSil.com. Sierra like the mountains, SIL.com. And the code GF gets you 14% off your purchase.
Well, it is time for This Week in Totally Stupid or Twist. Now, it'd be so easy just to make it whoever says, well, it's -27. What happened to global warming?
Oh,
Because we don't have time to explain the difference between climate and weather. Do your own research since you're probably such a fan of that anyway. But no, I have kind of a heartwarming twist for you, Lisa, that it takes a bit of a twist. Are you ready?
yeah.
There's a woman named Lorraine Forbes. She's 58 years old, and she lives in the UK. Now, for years, rather than joining a dating site, I guess, like most folks her age, she's been throwing messages in plastic bottles into the sea, hoping for a romantic connection. Well, she finally got one back in the mail. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yes. She gets this parcel in the mail. And it's heavier than a bottle. And she opens it. But not only does it contain her original bottle, it contains that box full of rocks and a scathing note from a local litter picker. The stupid part, she had to pay £7 in postage fees to get that box of rocks, which she described as nasty, and was called clueless for her environmental neglect.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Should she have used a glass bottle or what?
I don't know. I guess glass bottles turn up as sea glass on the beaches, at least here in Vancouver Island, if it's not sneakers with feet in them. Yes, I've been watching some weird documentaries since you left. But poor Lorraine.
I hope she finds love with a litter picker then.
Oh, that would be good. What if the guy who sent the box of rocks wasn't as dumb as one and ended up being the love of her life?
I could see the movie called instead of You've Got Mail, it's You've Got Litter. I love it.
You've got rocks.
You've got rocks.
You've got rocks.
All right, my dear, thanks again for everything, including the wonderful salads. Best salads in the world.
Okay, put that on my gravestone. I won't be one of those gravestones with recipes, which I've been hearing about as well. Those are a thing. Actually, my urn could look like a salad bowl. That's it.
Oh my goodness. Too far.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.